In this video, we race go-karts, and they go a little bit sideways. There's an absolute massive crash as the Supra appears from absolutely nowhere in the Daily Race C. I absolutely send it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gran Turismo Weekly Race Guide here in 2024, Week 18. And this week, we're back in go-karts, as you can see in the background. I'm not a big fan of the go-karts, if I'm honest with you. They're quite hard to drive. But even so, I'm going to have a pretty good race. We're doing 8 laps here at Tsukuba, which is a very small circuit. It's a grid start with a false start check, sport soft tyres, and of course, BOP is on. You just pick the coloured kart you want, you jump in, and have some fun. So, if you do not like the go-karts, I mean, as I say, I'm not a particular big fan of them. There are some timestamps there for you. You can skip to Daily Race B or Daily Race C if you so choose. However, as I've just said, there is a fantastic race that I have in the go-karts here, so it's worth watching. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this very good bit of action. Right, who are we facing here? We've got Shadow, Chicken Angel, Alex, and Sonic's in here as well, representing TCR as we get ready. Now, I do put traction control on 1 here. Do we actually need traction control? Well, that is the question as we prepare for the lights to go out. Off we go. A tiny bit there. So maybe do it just in case. But even so, we're kicking off here towards turn number 1. Now, these karts are very sketchy. I'm actually in cockpit camera for this one because I find it easier to drive than on bumper camera, which is why you can see the steering wheel. Big tip, that one. If you are struggling with the go-karts, go to this camera. Much more easy. Hello, why are they? Oh, Sonic! You're meant to be on the circuit, not on the grass, sir. As we go into this left-hander, it's going to struggle on those dirty tyres as we continue round the outside. Oh, 1 position already. Now, unfortunately, on this camera, we have no rear view mirror, so we have to focus on that radar a tiny bit more just to make sure we know where everybody is here as we head down towards the hairpin. Then we're going to follow Mario Sonic, who's dressed as Luigi here, as we go on the inside there. Going to continue on. Oh, wow. I mean, that was a really good cutback there by the French driver. Well played to you as we go through this right-hander then. And we're going to head towards the second lap here. Turn number 1. In we go. There's lots of karts absolutely everywhere. Oh, the Belgian driver just loses the rear end and taps Mario Sonic. We get 2 places for 1 there. Buy 1, get 1 free. In we go then to the end of lap number 2. On the inside of the Brit, maybe. Oh, we couldn't quite do that without touching Graham there. So we backed out of it as we fast forward a little bit more here and head towards this hairpin then, and we're on the outside there, taking a bit of avoiding action as well. A bit safer up on the higher banking of that corner actually in this go-kart. So if you are struggling, it might be a line to take potentially as we go into this right-hander. Back out of it a little bit then because I don't want to go side by side anywhere here. They've got the Petronas Mercedes racing suit on there as we head down in towards this right-hander. The hairpin here, and we turn in. Looks all safe and sound now. Looking for a good run on the exit. A little bit of a twitch from Graham. Oh, Graham's on the grass. Graham, the circuit's over here, mate. You don't have to lawnmower it. It's happy days. All right, okay. Well, we're up 1 position here as we go into the last corner. Then up in the distance, there's contact between 2 karts. Chicken Angel is off. Shadow comes back on the circuit then. We'll have to out on their tyres. We're going to send it down the inside. Up into P5 we go. Half the race still to go as well here. A chance of a race victory. I love this. Right, okay, let's advance a bit further on. I did say it was a good race in this one, folks. It's about to come up because honestly, it gets unbelievable. We got Mario Sonic on the inside there looking. I was focused on the radar there to make sure I gave Mario Sonic a bit of space there. Probably should call you Luigi rather than Mario, to be honest with you, as we head towards turn number 1, and they're still fighting there. The rate. Look at this. P1, there's a massive fight. They're side by side on the exit. They're nearly 3 wide at points here. I'm on the outside of the French driver who did an amazing cutback earlier on here as we go into this left-hander. In we go. As we continue on through. Oh, somebody's just gone off there. Up into P4. Looking down the inside of the French driver here. They could be very dangerous into this corner. Side by side. I give enough room here. They give enough room as well. Up into P3 then. We've got 3 laps to go then to try and get this P1. In we go. Slight tap between the 2. Alex on the inside. We're on the inside of the Spanish driver as we continue on out of here. I'm so focused on that radar because I can't tell where people are here as we head towards this left-hander. And it looks like Mario Sonic's joining the club here in this fight. As we continue on through round the outside, we tried. It's not going to work out here. We're on the inside now of the Spanish driver. We're back out of it just to save a little bit there. Make sure we don't take too much risk. We've got 2 more laps to go. Oh, the Spanish driver is off then. We're down the inside, heading towards the hairpin. Hard on the brakes. In we go. And we're just going to get pushed from behind there by the Spanish driver. Well, I'll look and see exactly what happened a bit later on. Put my hand up there because I was a bit frustrated with it. But look at that radar. They're 4 wide now. We're 4 wide. wide. So I was like, nah, I'm on the outside of this. I'm not doing this one. So I back out of this completely. Let everybody go then. And Shadow's in here. I get the inside of the Spanish driver who hits me again as they come back. They're just not aware where I was then. And we do get P4 in the end. So we're about to start P7. We're about to end P7, lap 7 here. We're fighting for P1. They're 3 wide up ahead here. I lift it up a little bit here to see if I can get an advantage. And we're following. I don't even know who that is up ahead. I think that's Alex. No, it's Shadow. Sorry, it's Shadow up ahead then. They're 3 wide heading towards turn 1. The final lap then. Here we go. Hard on the brakes. We've got Luigi. I'm going to call you Luigi Sonic from now on. Round the outside. Alex still keeps that position then. We're in the line of karts here as we head towards the hairpin here. The left-hander as we go onto the brakes then. And, oh, they've gone a bit deep here. We're on the inside, trying to keep it nice and safe and tidy. Sort of in P2 briefly there as we go in towards this right-hander. Everybody gets their position. It's still status quo, but Mario Sonic in the lead here as we head towards the final hairpin. This is a brilliant race, honestly. It's so good when you get some clean drivers and you can have a good race here as we go into this right-hander, then run the inside as we continue on here. No, too much oversteer. Too much oversteer. Just lost the rear end then, but up ahead we can watch this fight then as it unfolds. Who's getting the victory here? Shadow, Mario Sonic, or Alex? Well, we head into the final corner then for the 8th and final time. Through the right-hander we go. A little bit of oversteer for us. Alex is off the circuit there. Going to hit the barrier. Shadow gets the win. I come home in P3 in the end, but what a race that was. That was truly awesome. Really, really did like that one. Fair play to everybody in that race. That was awesome. Those 2 laps, brilliant. One of the best races in karts I've ever had, actually, I would say. Let me tell you how to do a lap here in the kart as well, just so you can potentially have a good race like that one. Heading towards turn 1, on the left-hand side, you got the catch fence that goes into some soundproofing. Just after that leaves the edge of your screen, that's when you're going to hit the brakes, okay? We are going to show you chase cam here as well, so you get an idea. You can see it very clearly there. Now, with this kart, it understeers quite a bit, so you do want to abuse the gears a little bit here. So I dropped to second gear and then short shift to third. So second gear just drops the speed down a little bit more, gets a little bit of rotation and up into third gear. Going to head towards this left-hander then, the hairpin, and at the end of the curb on the right-hand side, it's just before you get to it, you're going to hit the brakes. I've just started hitting the brakes right about now, so you can see that judgment there, that distance to that curb. Now, in terms of chase cam, you can see that right here, so you potentially can use the pole on the left-hand side on chase cam. A little extra help for you there. So in we go again, down to second gear, then short shift to third to try and get a bit of stability on exit because of the power oversteer. You can suffer in this kart. On the left-hand side there, the orange barrier goes into some Tsukuba tire wall barrier kind of things. Now, this corner you don't brake for. You can just flat it, but you may struggle to flat it in some situations. If you are struggling, just do a teeny tiny lift. And what I mean is go from 100 to 50% acceleration, for example. Now, I flat it there. You can see that in 5th gear as we continue now towards this next hairpin. This next hairpin, you can brake really late, really, really late. So on the left-hand side, you got that sort of greenish, not the grass, the turquoisey green there. The end of that is your brake marker. Once again, what you're going to do is drop down the gears really fast, okay? Drop it down to second and then up to third. If you are struggling with the braking, just brake a bit earlier and stay in third gear. And you see there, second gear, third gear for the stability on the exit. It's a bit cambered there as well, so, you know, you can really accelerate quite early on that corner. Just don't do what I did at the end of the race. Heading towards the final corner then, and this corner is actually flat, okay? Well, no, sorry, not flat. You don't brake for it. A slight lift there, as you see. Stay in 6th gear, just bounce the car a little bit and continue on through, okay? So it's not flat. I don't know why I said flat. What I meant was you don't brake for it. But that is it for that Tsukuba and Go-Karts. We're now in Group 4 and Suzuka. Tsukuba to Suzuka. You're seeing it right here. Okay, what are we actually doing here at Suzuka? It's 4 laps. It's a rolling start on racing medium tyres. Good choice with the tyres, in my opinion. This feels like a great combo in terms of time trial at least, and we'll see what happens in the race. You can adjust the settings, although you can't. Yes, it's set up that you can. I believe they may fix this bug this week, so do keep an eye out for that. So at the moment, you can't change settings. Your cars are picked for you. However, later on this week, if they do fix the bug that's currently in the game, then you will be able to pick your car. So just keep an eye out for that. Let's jump into the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happens in this Toyota Supra. Right, here we go. What have people picked in this one? The McLaren, they got the Porsche Cayman. Mario's picked the Megane, the front-wheel drive Megane. That'll be interesting to see what happens. If you're enjoying this video, as always, do give it a like. Do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I do appreciate that support. And remember, at 50,000 subscribers, we get a special, and the special involves you. Right, okay, we're going to head towards turn 1 then. Pretty rubbish rolling start, to be honest with you. The Supra not the greatest, apparently, at the back. But even so, up ahead, Roman Max just gets it slightly wrong into the second part of turn number 1. Backs off to let the German ahead go, and we take full advantage of that to gain a position already in this race as we go into the S's. And you can see there, I think the German's saying thank you to Robomags for letting them wait there with the hazards. So it's all good. You know, that's good sportsmanship. I love to see that. And I will always show that where I can in terms of that sportsmanship. So we're going to head up in towards its left-hander. Up ahead, just as that Supra loses the rear end here. And I was going to go for a move on the German, but at this moment, it was better to basically avoid additional risk here and just go past the Supra and then see what we can do with the German up ahead. In towards the right-hander we go. They just get it slightly wrong here. So we're down the inside towards Tidgney 2. We do get it stopped. They just turn in a bit too early there while I'm on the inside. And we do get that place up into P12 already. 3 places made on 1 lap. Now, we've already caught up here to the Renault Megane trophy up ahead of Legends Alpha here. And what they're going to do is try and go for a move on the McLaren in towards its left-hander. For me, that wasn't really on, to be honest with you. But what I'm going to do is go down the middle with that tight squeeze. Oh, I love doing that at the time. That was an unbelievable attempt, effort, and success. We actually got success there. We made it work. So we're up into P10 now as we head towards the Casio Triangle here. Up ahead, we see a very slow car on the inside. That's Mario Sonic in that Renault Megane front-wheel drive car. So not the trophy, the front-wheel drive car up ahead as we head towards turn number 1 then. So Mario Sonic, of course, will have dirt on their tyres. And I think just misjudges this completely into turn 1. Goes off the circuit there. And we're actually going to get another place. Got a penalty up ahead there for a Toyota Supra. Maybe that can help us and get up another place here. We've got I'm Very Big Boss up ahead. Now, what we're seeing up ahead now, I wanted to leave this bit in the video because I wanted to talk about it. When you are facing this scenario where you see somebody attacking somebody up ahead, try and judge what they're doing. Are they being really aggressive? Now, there's been a couple of minor contacts in this one, and I already know they're wanting to get past. They're quite desperate to get past here. So I've analysed it, and I've said, right, okay, I'll see where they're going to go wrong here, because it's going to go wrong at some point. They're being very aggressive, and I noticed to go towards the right-hand side here. So I knew they were going to send this no matter what. The McLaren should have probably known that with the contact, and the Italian really should have waited up. So from all of that information I gathered just from watching them, I knew the second they were going to send it, they were sending it no matter what. They were never going to give that up. Now, sometimes you can tell with names and stuff. So it says, I'm Very Big Boss, which suggests that they think they're like the supreme better driver there in that situation. Now, I'm sorry if you do watch this video and you support the channel. I'm just saying what I see, and that's my fault when I see that name. So do think about that in terms of names as well. Now, into this left-hander, they give me space, so fair play to them. However, I do scare them off the circuit. So it's a little smile there from me. We get the place. Happy days indeed. But I do feel you should have given the place back to the McLaren that you did actually punt off. It's very hard to go for a move into Tidgney 1. I highly advise you don't do it. Up ahead there, we've got a Toyota Supra who's very much sideways here as we go through Tidgney 2. They reappear and hit the Porsche. Massive accident there. Absolutely massive. And, well, game over for them. But we're up to P5. 10 places gained in that race. 4 laps, 10 places. I take those. That was a brilliant race from me, in my opinion. And I actually really enjoyed this combo. The GR Supra Group 4 car at Suzuka on racing medium tyres feels absolutely amazing. I wanted to continue time trialing this morning, but obviously I have to make this video. So here we are with the lap guide of that time trialing. So heading towards turn 1, you got the 50 board or that exit road on the left-hand side there, the escape road, okay? Either of them are your brake markers here. You don't actually even have to be in 6th gear here. You can just keep it in 5th all the way down here. I just had this real urge to go to 6th sometimes. I have no idea why. 5th gear, I'd argue, is actually better. As we come in, we're trail braking through the corner. Try and make sure you don't go below 70 miles an hour through there and accelerate when you do hit 70. You should make the corner. In towards the left we go to 4th gear. Then we're going to dab the brake and go into 3rd gear. I want you to remain in 3rd gear for the remainder of the S's in the Supra. If you're using other cars, obviously that may change a little bit, but you're bouncing the car. We hit the brakes slightly here at the start of this longer right-hander of the S's. And as we come up here then, we go to 4th gear, slight lift, and make sure you clip the curb and then accelerate through. It's all about balancing the car with the throttle through the S's there in Sector 1. So that's what you're trying to do. Try and avoid using the brake where possible. You don't need to, and it will unsettle the car. So if you're a better driver, that's when you start trying to push the limits with the brakes. But otherwise, just let the car flow. In towards Tidgney 1 here, we've got the pole on the right-hand side. That's what I use in terms of brake marker. You can try and judge to 50 if you want. I did highlight that before, but I use that pole on the right-hand side. 100 mile an hour is Tidgney 1 is what I'm trying to aim for. And at Tidgney 2, on the left-hand side there, you've got the Marshall 10. As that hits the edge of your screen, that's going to be a brake marker for Tidgney 2. Now, because we're in Group 4 and it's racing medium tyres, there is an awful lot of grip on the exit of Tidgney 2. So you really want to put your foot down very early. Try and abuse the inside a lot there and then just boot it out and you should be fine. Some cars may struggle potentially, but in the Supra, absolutely fine. We're going to head up towards the hairpin here then, and what we're looking for is the end of the curb there. We're actually braking just after this actually for the hairpin. Now, in front edge and rear wheel drive cars like the Supra, you will suffer power oversteer on the exit. So you do have to balance the car a little bit. before you go full throttle 100%. So what I tend to do here is I tend to go 50%, then 100%. Okay, so let's have a cut throttle. I went 50, then I went to 100. Notice there, it balanced itself. If I went from 0 to 100 and didn't have that tiny pause, it's only a small pause, but it was there. Then if I didn't have that pause, it would just oversteer and spin out. Heading towards Spoon then on the right hand side, we've got this escape road here. It's my brake marker I always use. I point this out every single time I do these, so I apologize to those that have seen this or this variation of a lap guide many times before in terms of group 3, etc. That is my brake marker. As we come into here, you want to click the curb and then accelerate out towards the outside curb. I actually brake a little bit too early here, so I'm actually losing time here. I should have gone a little bit further, but what you want to do is brake and be off the curb before the end of it. You're still on it right there, you are going to spin out. So make sure you're off it before there. And as I say, I'm braking a little bit too early here, just a bit too early. You want to come back in then. You want to try and clip the curb on the inside and accelerate out. Avoid, or try and avoid, just accelerating too early because you can understeer off there. Head towards 130R. We have the 50 board on the right side. I've just highlighted it right there. Now, for most cars at 130R, it's a slight lift, turn in, and you should be happy days, okay? Happy days means you should be good. But for some, you may have to dab the brake. The 50 board is the key marker here. Now, what I tend to do is cut a lot of the inside if I can. And in the Supra, I want to maintain 135 mile an hour if I can. 134 is fine if you do that, but, you know, try and push to 135. The Casio triangle on the right side, we've got that yellow line there that starts there, the old pit lane. That is your brake marker for the Casio triangle. So as that hits the edge of your screen, very clear here on chase cam where it actually is. That is when you're going to hit the brakes, as we slow the car down to second gear. You want to abuse as much of the track as you can, but there are track limits here, so do be careful. On exit, you will suffer a little bit of power oversteer. Turn into it before it happens, and you should be fine. Keep towards the inside line then as we get towards the end of the lap here. That's a 207.2. 206 is very much possible. I wanted to get a 206, but I had to make this video, of course, otherwise you wouldn't get any today. Right, we jump to Daily Race C then, where we're in a BMW M6, which means it's Group 3, and it's at Road Atlanta. And this is quite unusual settings for this one, actually, because it's 13 laps, rolling start, it's kind of standard, but we're on racing soft tyres. We don't use these too often at all. Times 2 fuel, times 5 tyre wear, and you can adjust some of the settings right there as well. But you can't at the moment, because remember that bug is in place, which means at the moment it's just rental cars, but if they fix it this week, which I expect them to do, then you'll be able to choose your own car. I chose BMW M6. Let's jump into this race and let me tell you the strategy, because all is not what it seems. Right, who are racing and what's in? We've got Blue Racing, McLaren, Shadow's picked an Alpha, Sonic's picked the BMW, and the Porsche 911 is there as well. If you're enjoying this video, I have mentioned it earlier on, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel. We're getting ever closer to 50k and it's pretty awesome. Now, you just saw me do the pause there. That's because I had the force feedback bug, which still appears in Gran Turismo PD. Do you know about it? Just to give you a heads up about that one then. But let's get into this race, and we've got a Porsche 911 up ahead. It all gets very close very quickly here at Road Atlanta, especially on these grippier tyres, because nobody's really oversteering or understeering off on turn 1, which is quite unusual. And you can see this train of cars as we go up here. So Shelty lost out to the Porsche up ahead as we go into this left-hander and continue on through there. So it's very busy at the start. Expect a lot of crashes here at the start of every single race you do today. And, well, for the week as well as we go into this right-hander. Slowing it down here. We are trying to look for a way past Shelty. Shelty sends it down the inside. Oh, did Shelty make that? Not too sure. It looked like Shelty didn't make it. So it does lift off there to let the Porsche go. Good sportsmanship there from Shelty. And now we're back in a race. Okay, here we go. We're in the slipstream as well. What can we do here? We've got one ball behind in the FT1. Now, when I saw this race, okay, and you may have noticed in the settings, I didn't see that you had to pit. So automatically that tells me you need to save your tyres here, but I don't do it at the start here. As we go into this left-hander, slight contact between the two again. Look on the inside of Shelty there, slight tap between us two, so I just back out of that there as well. And unfortunately that compromises Womble. But what I'm going to talk about, oh hello, we've got yellow flag first. What's the yellow flag for? That is the questions we continue on. We've got Smoke, a Shadow in the Alpha, all the way to the back of the grid. So if you remember my car profiles, I do a tyre wear test, so I was picking one of the better cars, so I chose BMW M6. Weirdly as well, I was literally at the top of the leaderboards for ages in this car, and I'm pretty sure I've accidentally picked the meta for this race. Apologies folks, if you see BMWs are absolutely everywhere. Speaking of which though, the BMW M6 in my car, there we go around the outside of Shelty, and that's because this BMW M6, since the bot change, is really strong again. Like, really, really, really strong. It's unbelievably strong here as we go down here at Road Atlanta and up towards left-hander. Someone's got a penalty up ahead. We're going to see how significant that is shortly. GTR just goes a bit too deep there. Surely they're going to get a penalty for that. That's a bit over the curb. A bit too much over then as we head towards... Oh, they do indeed, but I'm only making a move here. Down the inside I go. I do get it stopped as well. What a move that is. That is a send and a half as we go into the second right-hander here. The double 90s as we leave that corner then. So there's a penalty up ahead for the Belgian driver. How impactful is that penalty is the question. They're over towards the left-hand side in a Lexus. We get that position up into P10 we go as we continue on to lap number 4. So we're back behind this Porsche that we started behind in this race. So through the left we go then. And lots of action up ahead as well. Let's keep an eye out what's kicking off here. Oh, the side-by-side as well. Very hard to go side-by-side here as we go into the left-hander. The Porsche's got oversteer there, it looked like, and we get a position here. The other Porsche that was directly ahead of us here, the Portuguese driver gets it wrong as well, so it could be a 2-for-1 on Porsches today as we go into the right-hander. We get it done then. Up into P8 we go. We are making progress. Oh, slight tap from the rear. They just got it wrong there, I believe, did the Porsche. They did back out as well to let me go. So I do appreciate that sportsmanship. Thank you so much, mate. And what we're going to do is fast forward a little bit here because this is how powerful this BMW is. That Porsche could not catch up in the slipstream. I know I have slipstream up ahead, but they have a stronger one because they are in, well, really close to my exhaust. So I'm surprised at how good this BMW is now. It's very odd, the bop. And I am going to talk about it in the car profile later this week. Unfortunately, folks, you just saw there me cut quite a lot of that turn, and that gives me a penalty. So I get as close as I can to Hodgson here, and then what I do is take the penalty. And you can see here the gap's going from 1.2 seconds. It's dropping now, so we've lost 0.5. That's 0.6 of a second loss. So you lose about 0.7, I would say. So as long as you're around a second ahead, you should keep this position as we continue on through. So let's advance further on here into lap number 6. We're right behind Hodgson again. Now, if you look at that tyre wear, it's above half at this moment in time. So I'm thinking, okay, pretty sure I can get to the end of the race. Hodgson now, unfortunately, goes a bit too wide. Similar to that Nissan GTR. So there's only one outcome for this, a penalty. And I'm going to stay behind Hodgson for this one to allow Hodgson to basically get the best advantage. It doesn't cost me time, or might cost me a tenth or two, potentially. But even so, Hodgson actually nails that pretty well. So probably didn't cost me anything at all. We do get past Hodgson. Some people pit as well. So we're up into P4 when all's said and done here on lap number 7. And we're right behind Cecil here in the Porsche. And as we saw earlier on, where the Porsche couldn't overtake me in the slipstream, well, we're just going to go clean on by here in the BMW M6. It is so fast now. I'm really confused by this bop. I will be honest with you. Very, very, very confused indeed. As we go on by then, heading down towards the braking zone here at the chicane. And we're up into P3. We're on the podium. And remember, we are not pitting in this race. I know others are pit, but I automatically knew that this shouldn't be a pit stop race. Lap 12 then, you can see the front left is really going at this moment in time. We go to the end of lap 12, and both tyres on the left-hand side are gone at this moment in time. We're 2 seconds a lap slower. But look how far ahead we are on that track map versus everybody else in terms of tyre. It's unbelievable. We did not do a pit stop. It's not worthwhile doing a pit stop. So the one thing you need to focus on this week is your tyre wear. You can manage your tyres even better, then guess what will happen? You will be more successful at the end of this race where people haven't looked after their tyres, and you'll be able to go clean and buy them. So don't be aggressive at the start like I was. Try and wait towards the end and you should be fine. Congratulations to Blue Racer there for the victory. I didn't have the pace there to catch up to you, unfortunately, towards the end of the race. I was trying. I did catch up some of them, but not quite enough. Right, here was that rank 1 time for quite a while this morning here as we head towards turn number 1. On the left-hand side, you got the end of the pit wall, but it's actually just after that, so maybe use the ambulance instead. That's why I've highlighted both right here. As that leaves the edge of your screen, that's when you're going to brake and turn in. Now, remember, you are on racing soft tyres. This being grips, okay? So I'm literally trying to maintain as much speed as possible. It's got a lot of downforce, this Group 3 car. So the more speed you carry, the more the downforce works, and that is going to amplify these times. It's why my time stood, I imagine, for quite a while. Now, as we get to the top of the hill, you got the pole on the right. That is what I'm using as a brake marker. You could use the billboard on the left, but I'm using that pole on the right. I'm going to hit the brakes and turn in quite early here because I want to carry as much speed as possible. Notice how much I turn in there. And then I'm trying to maintain as much speed as possible. I go to 4th gear there to avoid a bit of understeer. And as I go down here, I'm going to stay in 4th gear now as we go up to this part of the circuit. So as that curb goes straight, that is my braking line as well. So you brake in a straight line. As the curb goes straight there, it's all in the same place. You can use the billboard on the right. That's why I've highlighted it. But I'm going to brake in a straight line. You can use the grass, and some of the best times in the world later on this week will use the grass. Just don't use it at the moment, okay? The soft tyres are so grippy. Accelerate through the corner, and happy days, 28.3 there. There's another couple of attempts in that sector, definitely. Going to head down towards a double right-hander then. So on the right-hand side here, we've got the grass goes to tarmac. That is my brake marker for this right-hander. So as you get to that, you're going to drop a gear. I actually dropped 2 gears here just to get a tiny bit of rotation. The problem is, obviously, you don't suffer as much oversteer with the grippier tyres, so you're trying to get as much rotation as you can. So we dropped to 3rd gear, 2nd, then back up to 3rd, tiny bit of rotation there. Now, somebody pointed this out to me a fair few months ago, and I've been using it ever since. The curb kinks, okay? You can see the line kink there. That's my new brake marker for this corner. It's a belter of a brake marker. Really big shout out to whoever said that. I think a couple of people have maybe said that. So as I get to that point, I'm going to drop a gear here. So 2nd gear, go through the corner and accelerate out. Now, I stay in 2nd gear for this one because, again, power oversteer is very few and far between just because of how grippy this tyre is. Going to head down towards the chicane then, and on the right-hand side, we've got the 200 board or the billboard down the right-hand side. Okay, sort of the right-hand side of the billboard as well. I try and brake as close to the start or end or right-hand side of the billboard, should I say, as possible as it hits the edge of my screen. Now, what you want to do for this corner is cut a lot of the first part to give you a better line for the second part. Don't go too deep here. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to go to 3rd gear and try and avoid touching the curb too much on the exit. That will unsettle the car and force smoke steer. When settings become available when you can pick your own car later on this week, hopefully, then you can adjust the setup of the suspension and it will benefit from that last corner. That is it though for Daily Race C. It's time for some bloopers, and here we are Shadow and Chicken Angel coming through this right-hander in the go-kart. Gets the rear end a bit loose, and unfortunately, Chicken Angel is gone as well. Bit of an unfortunate racing incident, that one, and there's no dirty driving there at all, really. Right, okay, in towards the left-hander we go. What happened to this driver here? Oh, they just tapped the rear, and then they went round as they touched the curb at the same time. It's completely unsettled the kart. Now we've got the Spanish driver. Yeah, so this is where I got hit up the rear, wasn't it? So let's have a look what happens here. Bit too much oversteer. They've got that counter-steering assist on as well. A lot of people will use that this week. As we go into this right-hander, what did they do? Yeah, they accelerate into me. Yeah, it's just a bit naughty, that one, from the Spanish driver as we continue on out of there. So I was right to be a bit miffed. Right, I wanted to see if this was clean or not by me. So in towards Tidgney 1 we go. So we're definitely alongside at this moment in time. We brake early enough there just to make sure that they've got room on the exit. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. No issues there from my side here. Now, the South African, I'm pretty sure was just going, yeah, I'm going to go for this no matter what. Now, oh, could there have been more room? I don't know whether the Renault Megane Trophy could have made that. I've got to be honest. So, a bit unsure with that one. It felt a little bit naughty, but not as naughty as I thought it was at the time. What happened to Mario Sonic in terms of the Megane FF car? Okay, in we go here. Oh, just completely outbrake yourself there, Mario. What's going on? We've got Shelty in the Volkswagen up ahead as well. But through the left we go. Comes on very safely indeed. And here we have the Italian. So this move was never on. I'll be honest with you right now. There's no way you're making this corner. Not a chance. No way that's happening in my opinion. And definitely should have given that place back. But I could tell what was going to happen. I did talk about that. Now, here we have the absolutely insane crash that happened at the end of the race. So it just gets unsettled by the bump there. Tries to catch the car. Not hard on the brakes, though. And unfortunately, that Porsche, wrong place, wrong time. Very unlucky there for the Brit in that Porsche. But, yeah, that's a big old crash, isn't it? Daily Race C, then. What happened to Shadow in the Alpha? So comes through the second right-hander. And use all the curb here on the grass. And, yeah, just goes for a spin on the grass. And puts it in reverse. Goes for a bit of reverse. Hits the barrier. Fortunately, no wall penalties. And that is the end of that. Unfortunately, folks, that's the end of this video as well. You just saw the graphic. If you can give it a like, I will appreciate that. And if you're not subscribed already, please do. It really does help the channel and tells me you do love this channel. 2 videos there to check out. Of course, my logo's there to subscribe. And 2 companies that help me out. So you can use my discount code on GT Amiga or my affiliate link on Fanatec. And I do get a kickback from those as well. Big thank you for watching. And I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.